Hi, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at how to create a navigation bar with a simple drop down. How to create a navigation bar with a simple drop down. To actualize this is quite easy. Okay, so begin by saying by starting with a div. Okay, for our navbar. So we'll give this class. This is a class navbar. Okay, that will be our wrapper. Then we would have a div, or rather let's have a UL. Okay, in this UL we will have a list item. Okay, inside this list item we will have an anchor element. So let's give this an anchor element home. So let's give this an anchor element of about. So let's give this an anchor element of let's call this news. So this news will be the parent element. Okay, um, news. All right, so we're going to have this. We should have something like this. Okay, so I have a list item. I'll have a list item. Then I should have my paste my item there. All right, so just cut this. So I have another list item here. Okay, so just paste this here. Good. Now, because this news item is going to have a drop down. But before we go ahead, let's see what we have. Okay, so we just so let's see what we have. Perfect, right? Okay, this is not having an anchor element, so let's see why that is. What they're about. Okay, we have news, list anchor element. That's so about news. Okay, so we have this. So now let's have one more. Let's have one more. Let's call this anchor element contacts. Okay, contacts. All right, so now in this case, this this div element, this news element is going to have a div. Okay, now this div will have we have a drop down item, a drop down items. Let's call this items blog. Okay, blog. So let's call these entertainment. So let's call this politics. It's just it's a simple drop down anyway. So you can always have as many drop downs as you wish. Okay. So we have this. So I want to give this a div class. I want to give this div class I want to give this div class a drop down content. Okay, and I want to give this parent element a class of drop down. All right. Okay. Now let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. If I should refresh, okay, you see it. They are under entertainment. Okay. Now let's go to our CSS and style. Let's style this. All right. So we'll begin. Okay. So normally you begin with a select all statement, which is asterisk. Okay. So we'll begin with that. So let's set our margin to 0 or auto, depends on what. Let's make it 0. Let's give it our padding to be 0. Okay. So let's make our font family. Let's choose our font family. Where sans serif. That's okay. All right. So the first class we'll start there is our navbar. All right. So we'll begin with our navbar dot navbar. All right. Dot navbar. Then we'll call this navbar. Let's give it a background color. Okay. Let's give it a background color. Let's use a black. Yes, black. Or using black. All right. So you can use any color of your choice though. Okay. So let's have a padding around of say 10px is too much. Let's make it 8px. All right. So let's see what we have. Perfect, right? Good. Now let's work on this element. Okay. So work on that. I'm not come down here. Then we'll say the dot navbar. Then we'll give it our UL li item. So let's give it our display. You can give it a flex display, or let's just give it an inline block. So you have the option of using flex or inline block, any of them. Let's see what we have. All right. So we have this. Now that we have this, let's go ahead. Let's see what we can do. Let's start the nav items. Okay, let's start the nav items. All right, so come down here and say dot navbar ul lia. Okay, let's give it text decoration none. Let's give it a color white, Alice blue. Let's give it a font size. Let's say 18px. Okay, let's give it Let's give the font weight a bold. Okay. Let's give it a padding 10 px. So that's what we have. Voila. Found out we have this, so we have to hide these items. Okay, I'll hide these items. Okay, so we'll come down there. Then we'll say our drop content. Okay, we are going to style the drop content because we are hiding the items. Okay, so we'll come down here. We'll say dot drop down content. Okay, I believe that's the class we have there, right? So drop down content. So we have the drop down content. Okay, so we have this, and let's give it a display none. A display none. Okay, then let's call this. Let's give it a position. No, we're going to give it inherit. Let's give it absolute. So we are giving this absolute. It means we need to have the parent element drop down position relative. Okay, so background color, let's give it let's use a black too. Let's use black since we are using black around. So let's give it a minimum width. A minimum width. Let's give it a minimum width. I can decide to use the 180 px. So you can use any of the values that you feel is okay by you. What else can we do? Let's give it a box shadow. Let's give it a box shadow as an effect. Let's make it 0 px. Let's give it 8 px. Let's give it 16 px. Let's give it 0 px. Gray color. Okay, let's see what we have. Fresh, good. I don't like this. It's too tiny. Okay, it's too tiny. Let's increase the padding. Around this 20 px. Space is too much. Let's just go over and say 18 px. 18 px. Let's give the margin and see. Let's give the margin of 5 px. Let's see what we have. Okay, I think it's making more sense now. I think we should also reduce this to 15. Yeah, let's make this 15. Alright. space there is a bit too much. Let's make it 5. Okay, I think that's okay. I guess we should put our margin here of 10 px. All right, so we have this. Perfect, exactly what I want, what I wanted. All right, so let's create an hover effect. Let's reduce this space. This space is too much. The space is too much. Let's create an hover effect. I'll just remove this margin from here. I don't like that space. Let's make this 12. Okay. Let's create an hover effect. So I'll just come down here. I'll add an hover effect on this whole thing. Okay. So UL li hover. The hover effect should have a background color. Since it's a black background, let's give something that's, let's use a yellow. Let's give it a color black. Then let's give it a padding of 5 px. Let's see what we have. Okay. This thing is dancing. We don't shouldn't put it's dancing, right? All right. So let's come down here. I think we should have. Let's have it on the anchor element. Okay. That's more like it, but it's still dancing. So let's take off that. Let's see what we have. Perfect. Okay. So this is a nice one, right? Now let's work on our news. Okay. So that the news will drop down. All right. Let's work on the news so that the news will drop down. Since we have succeeded in hiding it, you're using this display none to hide it. All right. And the position absolute, which is taking the position of this parent element relative. Okay. So now let's go over to the item, so that when we hover on it, it displays the item. All right. So we'll come down here. All right. So see drop down. Okay. Hover. Drop down. Hover. Okay. Drop down. Hover. What should happen? It should target the child element of drop down content. Then what should happen? It should display the item inside the content block. Okay, so let's see what we have. Yes, that's it. Okay, that's it. Perfect, right? So now let's style. You see, it's come down good. Now let's style these items. Okay, so we can style the drop down items content. So let's style them. So come down here, the drop down. Okay, content. All right, A, because these are the anchor elements that is holding this. So you can check now. So it's drop down content A. Okay, so what should we do to this content? Let's give it a padding. Let's give it a padding of 12 px. 16px text decoration, none. Then let's give it it's already have a display block, so let's leave it on display block. Okay, so let's see what we have. Perfect. Isn't this beautiful? Okay, so this is nice, right? Good. So you see, our blog is working perfectly well. Okay, so this is how to create a nice hover effect using CSS HTML. Okay, watch out for our video on how to create the same effect using JavaScript. All right, thank you very much. See you in our next class. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.